All right, let's talk about something that goes way beyond diagrams and frameworks. Let's talk about the one thing that actually lets you make a real impact: power. This is all about how you go from being a really skilled architect to a truly influential leader. And we're going to start with a problem that I bet feels pretty familiar.
So, does this hit close to home? You've got the vision, you've got the strategy, the perfect plan that you know could save the company millions, but when you try to make it happen, you hit a brick wall. You're seen as an advisor, not a decision maker, and all your great ideas end up as just suggestions.
Well, it is time to change that. And look, this isn't about playing office politics. It's about being effective. Enterprise architecture, at its core, is leadership. The catch is, it's often leadership without any formal authority. That means you have to build your own. So, what we're doing here, using Jeffrey Pfeiffer's amazing framework, is laying out a roadmap to get you out of that passive consulting role and into an active, influential leadership position.
And the whole thing starts from the inside out. Seriously, before you can even think about influencing the organization, you have to get a handle on the barriers you've put up for yourself. So let's dive into the rules for building that inner power.
Rule number 1, and this one is huge: get out of your own way. You know, the biggest obstacle to your influence is often the story you're telling yourself about your job, that you're just a consultant or that you need to ask for permission for every little thing. It is time to tear up that script and write a new one.
So how do you actually do that? First off, stop using qualifiers. You are not just anything. Start speaking with the confidence and authority that you've earned. You are the expert. And start assuming you have the power to act. You know, whether it's spinning up a proof of concept or just gathering the data you need. And you have to internalize this mantra, really. It is almost always better to apologize for overstepping than it is to ask for permission and get told no.
And you know, that first rule flows perfectly into this one. Once you give yourself that permission to act, you start to realize that not all rules are sacred. In fact, a lot of them aren't even rules. They're just old habits, the way things have always been done that nobody's ever dared to question.
Think about it for a second. How many processes in your organization are there, not because they're efficient, but because of some long-forgotten fear or problem? There's a famous experiment that just illustrates this perfectly. So, picture this. Researchers put some monkeys in a room with a ladder, and at the top, bananas. When one monkey tries to climb, they all get sprayed with ice-cold water. Ouch. So the group quickly learns, if anyone tries to climb, pull them back down. Then the researchers start swapping out the monkeys one by one. The new monkeys, they've never seen the cold water, but they learn the rule from the group. Don't you dare climb that ladder. Eventually, none of the original monkeys are left, but the rule stays, enforced by a group that has absolutely no idea why.
And that brings up a really critical question for you to think about. What are the bananas your organization is too afraid to reach for? What's the cold water that probably doesn't even exist anymore? Your job is to be the person who finally asks, wait a minute, why are we doing this?
Okay, so once you've started to adjust that internal mindset, it's time to focus on the outside. Let's get into the rules for crafting your image and projecting that confidence and authority you've been building up.
You've heard it a million times, but it's true. Perception often becomes reality. If people see you as a powerful, confident leader, they're going to treat you like one. And hey, this isn't about being arrogant. It's about presence. Your confidence, the language you use, how you carry yourself, it all sends a very clear signal. I mean, just think about the difference. A weak presence is apologetic. How many times have you been in a meeting and someone walks in a minute late and says, "Oh, sorry, I'm a minute late"? It's a totally unnecessary apology that just subtly weakens their position. Compare that to a powerful presence. They're confident. They don't ask for permission for every little thing. They speak with authority, and they project this image of being in control.
Appearing powerful is a great start, but building a brand, that's specific. This is about defining what you are known for. What is your unique value in the organization? When people have a certain problem, are you the person they think of first?
Think about Steve Jobs. His brand was relentless innovation, and it was symbolized by that iconic black turtleneck. Your brand has to be just as intentional. So what is it? Are you the architect who can make super complex systems make sense to business leaders? Are you the one who can build a prototype of the future state like tomorrow? Or are you the go-to expert for making sure everything is built for the long haul? Find that niche that your organization really needs and own it.
This next rule, this might be the most critical one for any enterprise architect. Your work isn't really technical, it's relational. You just cannot succeed from inside a silo. It's that simple. Your power is directly tied to the strength of your network.
Just let that sink in for a second. You influence decisions not because you can command people, but because you've connected with them. This means you have to go beyond the scheduled meetings. Go grab coffee. Find out what your key stakeholders actually care about. What are their goals, their pressures, what makes them look good? Your brilliant architectural vision is only powerful if it solves their problems. Your network isn't just a list of names, it's a coalition, an alliance you've built by showing people you're on their side. That's your leverage.
Okay, so you've worked on your inner game, you've crafted your image, you've built that network. Now what? Well, this last set of rules is all about putting that potential energy into motion. See, power isn't something you just have, it's something you do.
Now, this sounds super obvious, right? But this is where so many people get stuck. They build up all this influence, and then they're scared to spend it. But power isn't like money in the bank that goes down when you use it. It's much more like a muscle.
Pepper's quote here says it all. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. If you don't use your network, it starts to fade. If you don't use your influence to help someone out or push a project forward, it withers. Every single time you successfully use your power to make something good happen, your influence actually grows. People see you as effective and your reputation gets even stronger.
And now for the final and the most controversial rule. Now, this is not a license to be a jerk or do something unethical. It's a strategic recognition that, at the end of the day, results are the ultimate currency.
Remember those cold water rules we talked about with the monkeys? When you need to bend an outdated rule or cut through some red tape to deliver a massive win, you do it. Because once you've delivered that success, trust me, no one is going to ask for an audit of the pointless paperwork you skipped. They're going to be too busy celebrating the amazing result you delivered.
So why do these 7 rules matter so much? Because the job of an enterprise architect is more critical today than it has ever been. Organizations are desperate for leaders who can think strategically, who can think long-term, and that is your superpower.
Just look at who's often making the big decisions. It's leaders focused on the next quarter, on hitting a short-term savings goal, or on some big project that'll look good on their resume before they jump ship. An EA-minded leader, you're different. You build for future capabilities, you care about the long-term health, the legacy of the organization. The question is, if you don't step up and build the power to influence those big decisions, who will? Ultimately, power is just a tool. It's not good, it's not bad, it all depends on what you build with it. You have the vision to build something incredible for your organization. And now you have the rules to gain the influence to actually make it happen. So the only question left is, which one are you going to start with?